One of the most common things I've been asked recently are my thoughts on the new Flesh and Blood Assassin card. So I figured, you know what, let's make a quick video and go over that and also test out this new mic and see how it all goes. We're also going to talk about the Ranger cards as well, because the new Azalea specialization is, it is quite good. So let's go to the overlay and we'll talk about all of the cards here. I have some thoughts. You may have heard some of them on the Living Legends podcast, but if you haven't, well, here they are by themselves. So the first card I want to talk about is Coercive Tendency, a blue pitch, 0 cost, 3 block, assassin attack reaction, Arachne specialization. Finally, Arachne is getting a specialization that doesn't kill them, which is good. You know, having a specialization that doesn't cause you to lose the game is pretty good. And it says, look at the top 3 cards of the defending hero's deck, put them back in any order, then banish the top card of their deck. If you complete a contract this way, your assassin attacks get go again this combat chain. I think this card is actually really, really good. I love everything about it. It is a 0 cost blue pitch card that blocks for 3. So it's like, you know, it hits all those marks there. Blocks well, pitches well, and it you can use it as an attack reaction quite well. But it also does everything that Arachne basically wants to do, right? It helps you complete contracts. It gives your contract cards go again, which is actually quite difficult to do because Black Tech Whisperers really, really needs to, you know, have that attack action hit to give that stuff go again. So getting to look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck is also very sweet. So you can kind of not only see what's coming, but you can use your Arachne hero ability accordingly, right? Because assuming you're playing a contract card ahead of this, you already looked at the top card, right? And so if you bottomed that card, then you get to dig 3 cards deeper and then banish one of them. So you have a really, really good chance to hit and then generate the silver. Another thing that I want to mention here is if you somehow got go again prior on this combat chain, then it will trigger all of your assassin contracts that fulfill that contract. So for example, if you have a contract that cares about banishing attack actions and you have the contract that cares about banishing red cards, if you do Coercive Tendency and then you banish a red attack action, both of those contracts will trigger if they're still on the combat chain. So you can use this later in the combat chain and get extra value out of your silver, or you can use this earlier on the combat chain and get the value of giving all of your contract cards go again, or rather all of your assassin attacks go again. So this is a great way to go wide with Arachne as well. And also, if you don't have that set up, you just block with it, or you just pitch with it. It's a blue block 3. This card's really good. It does everything you want to do. It guarantees that you can get some silver, assuming that you get a hit in the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, or top 4 cards of your opponent's deck. And so this will just help you buy back some of the really sweet cards that that you're running. This card's cool. Also, the art is done by Mark Poole. Also awesome. So yeah, I really, really like this card. I feel like this is a staple card for Arachne. I don't think it's like insane. I don't think it's useless. I think this is just a role player staple card for Arachne. If you are playing OG contract Arachne, you're probably playing max of these in your deck. In solitary confinement, probably not. But in OG Arachne, yeah, really, really good. All right. Let's talk about another assassin card with Graven Call. This one is pretty interesting, actually. So this is an assassin weapon dagger, one-handed, attacks for 1. It has a once per turn action for 2 resources, attack, go again. It has piercing 1, so all of this is pretty standard dagger stuff. But it has a new... It's basically like a buyback, like the armor pieces have, but on a dagger. So this is instant, which is actually kind of important. Destroy 2 silver you control. Equip this with a +1 counter. Activate this ability only while this is in your graveyard. This card works really, really well with flick knives because you flick this at your opponent, deal them the 1 point of damage, and then you can get it back and then flick it again at your opponent. The fact that this is like instant speed is really, really cool. So you can, you know, buy it back whenever you need to, just in case. And the fact that it gets that +1 is pretty cool too, which means it'll start attacking for 2. Keep in mind it won't get that +1 when you throw it at the flick knives, because the flick knife just does base 1 damage. But getting that +2 is pretty good. The piercing on here is a little interesting. It's not helping you get an on hit through. It's just making it more annoying, I guess, to block with equipment. and it's flavorfully good. I think this card's kind of cool. I want to play around with it. The extra point of damage I think might be worth it in some matchups, both with Arachne and with Uzuri. With Arachne, it's going to be a little bit easier because you're going to be able to, you know, actually get those silver much easier with cards like the Coercive Tendency. Though in my Uzuri deck, I actually run a decent number of contract cards. I run Already Dead, and I run all 3 of the ones from Dynasty. You know, Leave No Witnesses and all that good stuff. So yeah, I think this card's cool. I think it's worth testing out. Is it better than any of the other daggers? I don't know, probably not, but then again, an extra point of damage from Flick Knives, if you can buy this back, is like pretty good. I think it's pretty good. And if you can buy it back multiple times, well, then you're living in magical Christmas land, and it's probably great for you. So yeah, good. I think this card's cool. I'm not sure if it's like a slam dunk or anything, and people might not even play with it, but I think it's worth testing out. Next up, let's talk about, we're saving the real spicy one for last, by the way. Let's talk about Reel In. So this is a really interesting card. It is a Ranger instant, blue pitch, 0 block, X to play. Look at the top X +1 cards of your deck, choose up to 4 traps, reveal them, put them in your hand, and then shuffle. 4 traps, bro. Like, this is how not good traps and Riptide are. They have to print a card like this to be like, they're like, please play the traps. That we know they're not great. Just play them. Just play the traps. And then you get a reload, which is cool. Put the trap in your arsenal. Obviously, this is like a Riptide card, right? It even has like that pirate dude, the salty Seabeard man here. Also, like, look at this crossbow, fighting back like a Kraken or something. Card is really cool. But yeah, I mean, like, if you play Riptide, yo, Riptide guy, yo. Yes. So yeah, I think the card's cool. I think if you play Riptide, you probably want to like mess around with this. Doesn't block, but it's a blue pitch card. The fact that if you hit like 4 trap cards on the top of your deck, this is like a 4-cost draw 4, is kind of crazy. It's like kind of crazy, but like, how often are you gonna hit that? You have some deck manipulation, right? You can opt, but I don't know. Maybe this is another reason, or this is a good reason to play to play Skullbone Crosswrap in Riptide, so you can like opt, and maybe you could hit. I mean, like, I will say, for 0, if you know the top card of your deck is a trap, this is just draw the trap, right? For 0, because it'll be 0 + 1, so you get to reveal, or you get to look at the top card of your deck. If it's a trap, you put it in your hand. That's pretty cool. So if you opted, you know the top card of your deck is a trap, then this is gas, right? But yeah, and if you know the top 2 cards of your deck, I mean, like, this is like, but then you're getting a trap. So I don't know. This card's cool. I like it. I like the flavor here. I like where they're going with it. I like the panache. I like the panache of this card. All right, final card. And the most important card we're talking about today is Judge, Jury, and Executioner, or as I'm going to call it, Judge, Judy, and Executioner. Yo, shout out if you get that reference. But this is a 1-drop, 5-attack, 3-block Ranger attack action. It's an arrow. It's an Azalea specialization, a legendary. Wait for it. Azalea specialization. So you can only have one of these in your deck. And it is quite powerful. The ability matches the restriction here. So it says, if this has an aim counter, it gets, when this hits a hero, they discard all but 1 card from their hand. Bro. Like, it's pretty good. Like, it's really good. Hitting like anyone with this is just brutal, right? Especially if you can dominate it. Like, if you can limit the number of cards that your opponent can block with into this card, it is just like that much better. Obviously, this reads, if it doesn't have dominate or overpower or something, this basically just reads, hey, you gotta block this out, right? This just reads, you must block this or you lose your cards anyway. So obviously, giving this dominate is what you really want to do here, and then pumping it up to be really big, and so they can't block it out with like armor or something like that. That's like the goal of this card. Also, the artwork is insane. This artwork is awesome. It's got to be one of the coolest artworks for Flesh and Blood. It is so stylistic. It looks like an album cover or something. I like this. I like this a lot. So yeah, I think this card is really good. And I think if you're playing Azalea, you play this card, right? Like there's like no situation where you don't play this if you're playing Azalea. It's a 1-for-5 arrow with a crazy on-hit effect. Maybe if you like don't play aim counters like ever at all, like maybe if you're using a different quiver, if you're not using the crow's nest or whatever, but it's good. Seems good. Like, are any of the other quivers better than not running Judge, Judy, and Execution? I don't know. I haven't played Azalea in a little while, but I can tell you what, this card is sick. This card is really sick, and the on-hit effect is super flashy and super cool. Even if it does just kind of read, "Hey, you must block me," or more accurately, it reads, "Hey, Azalea player, give this dominate, like lean into the big dummy." I'm not even gonna say it. No, I am gonna say it and honor my buddy Az, who spoiled this. Lean into the big dummy mommy energy, right? Shout out to my buddy Az, who previewed this over on Go Again Gaming. Shout out to the Azalea cult as well. Go watch that video. We'll probably talk about it more on the Living Legends podcast, but still, very cool card. And yeah, so I spent like 10 minutes talking about these 4 cards. I really think this Coercive Tendency is really sweet, and I'm very much looking forward to playing it. Gonna put Arachne back together in CC, in Blitz maybe, but in CC for sure. I definitely want to test out this Graven Call. I don't know if it's as good as the other daggers, but I think it's like worth testing out, especially if you're like running Flick Knives over something like Shriek Razors. I am also testing Shriek Razors, but I mean, being able to throw some knives, just a bunch, is pretty sweet. And then obviously the reelin, bro. Reel it in. All right, so that's gonna do that for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think of Judge Judy and Executioner? Let me know what you think of the Coercive Tendency, and we'll see you later for some more card game content. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.